Channel. I reviewed season 1, and now I gotta do season 2 because I did 3, so it makes no sense to leave a gap there. Another reason is that these videos get views, so yeah. Let me know what TV show you want me to review after this, because I don't really know. Because I doubt they're making a season 4 after the lackluster, them trying to hide the season 3, but I didn't feel like I needed to make this video, but hey, I'm desperate for views, so I'll do it, since everyone likes the Clone High stuff. You know what I like Clone High too? But you know what I don't like? Season 2, or the 2023 reboot. After a 20-year gap, they finally made a second season, without any of the original writers. Well, yeah, sure, if the original creators are on the show still, they're not doing any show running, they just voice the characters they voiced in the original show. And we got a bunch of new people who have only known about Clone High because of the memes. Now keep in mind, I barely knew anything about Clone High right before this came out, because I just saw it for the first time like a month before it came out. But even I knew more about this show than these fuckers, and I just saw it for the first time. I was like, this doesn't feel right. I just go from a show I just saw, and then 20 years, and then I see this show. This doesn't feel at all the same. And that's because this show is not the same. Not only do some of the voice actors change, most Cleopatra, Gandhi is not here. The animation looks worse, but it still keeps the animation style because this style works better when it's hand-drawn, which was what the original show was, and this just looks like cheap Flash. And there's also new characters that take away from what it was, and bad understandings, bad comedy, and tons of gore for no reason. Famously, the original season had a cliffhanger ending that lasted for 20 years. And I honestly was content with it after watching the show for a month, because from my combined, I watched the show before the new season came out, but I've watched it like 6 times since I first saw it. That's how good season 1 is. Like, what the hell's going on in this show? This wasn't even in there. What the fuck? Is this not funny? Like, wow, look, she beats herself up, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like I said, my least favorite episode from the first season was the one where they had all that pointless gore. That wasn't really that funny. But yeah, that's funny, I guess. Get ready to see a lot of that. Uh-oh, Abe's an idiot and keeps getting a paper cut for some reason, over and over again. It's not funny, it's disgusting, it's gross. Like, what the fuck? What is the show's problem with gore? Alright, so I'm not going to go too much into some details that I went in my Season 3 video, so if you haven't seen that, go watch that. But yeah, basically this show starts off basically taking place immediately where the last show took off. 20 years later, Scudworth is unfreezing the original clones because I guess he decides to do it now. Well, the government tells him to, but he already made new clones, so it's not really important. And it turns out that Abe said, "He said Joan! Oh my god, who'd have thought?" Just kidding, everyone knew that. So all the original characters from the original show, well, they have different personalities. Abe Lincoln, who was oblivious in the original show, is now just a complete idiot, and is also a side character instead of the main character. And he wants to fuck Joan, I guess, but it's not really other than this one episode here, he's not really important. At least they mentioned that Gandhi still exists, even though he's not on the show anymore. They forgot to unfreeze him. That's the joke. That's the only thing that's funny about this show. So yeah, you're looking at the most butchered character here. Which one? Well, it's Joan. She's basically nothing like the original character. She wants to be with JFK now because JFK, like, I am doing my sex joke, and that's apparently attracts her now. Even though she liked Abe the entirety of the last season, and it's not like it's ever really brought up that much either. She's like, oh, I like JFK now, and JFK's like, I only want to be with you for some reason. Also, his voice is worse, even though it's the same voice actor, who's actually one of the show creators. Just sounds lame. You'll notice that Joan's design has changed, and of course they're showing Abe Lincoln, but yeah, her head is smoothed out now instead of being a giant flat brick, which I kind of miss, because that's kind of the whole style of the show. They're like, oh, I guess she's not attractive enough. Like, get the fuck out of here, weird animators.
Ask what you can do to your student body president's body. Been turned down before, but that's okay.
Almost like they didn't even try voice acting the character, because I swear I could do a better voice impression, and I have a shit-at voice. I know, a commenter said I have a bad voice. So, like I said, the only good thing about the reboot is that Scudworth and Mr. B are still funny, and they actually sound like they did in the original show, because I guess they decided, oh, we'll put effort into voicing these characters. But JFK, I don't really understand it. And they have some good jokes, like explaining what happened in 20 years. He forces everyone to listen to his song for 6 hours, and this is where his disgusting nipples come to play. If you see my Season 1 video, you know that he didn't have disgusting nipples, so I have no idea where this came from. It's not funny either. So I mentioned they butchered the old characters. Lincoln is just a dumbass also being a background character. JFK is just a simp for Joan. His voice is lamer now. And Joan's a basic bitch. And Cleopatra, well, she's barely in the show. Or in that one time she mutilated herself. She also sounds worse because she's not voiced by the same voice actor because I don't know why. We also got great new characters that everybody loved, right? Everybody loved this character. Pretty much all the new characters in the show suck. I'm not joking. They're pretty much all terrible. Like, yeah, we got well, her. I'm having a brain fire. I'm sorry. I let you guys down. I forgot. Frida Kahlo. There you go. Frida Kahlo. Kahlo. Maybe. I don't know. I learned about her in our class one time. She's okay. But the character is basically, other than she likes art, has very little to do with the original character. Also, design sucks, and I don't really give a shit about this character. What's even worse than this character is Harriet Tubman. Yeah, that's Harriet Tubman. Could you tell? Wait, you're telling me these characters look nothing alike? Like, this doesn't look anything like the historical figure, other than the fact they're both have the same race and the same gender. That's about it. Like, quite literally nothing about them, quite from the design, which is fucking atrocious. This is easily the worst design of any character in any show I've ever seen. The terrible clashing colors that don't even look like anything from the 2000s, and the voice is annoying. The personality is basically nothing like Harriet Tubman. I know, I saw a documentary recently on that some people didn't like, but I liked it, so joke's on them. So, yeah. It's a disgrace to the woman that's going to be on the $20 bill. This cotton candy disgrace. Harriet Tubman's a fun character because she likes school. Yeah, wow. I bet you're very excited to see more of this character, right? No, you are not. This show's about introducing a bunch of new characters. A lot of them aren't that interesting. Like, we had this character called Candy, who likes reptiles, I guess, for some reason. The reason this character exists, from what I can understand, is that they can rehire the Cleopatra voice, but not have her voice Cleopatra, because that makes a whole lot of sense. Yeah, not really that interesting of a character. Also, Confucius, who looks nothing like Confucius. And there's Gandhi for 1 second. I miss him already. He's just dumb, but he's supposed to be wise, but, not really. He's not at all wise, He's not even like a pseudo-intellectual, which would actually be a funny character trait for a character like that to have. But no, he's just a fucking idiot. That's a great character. He looks so much like his clone father. What I mean, like, so much that not at all. Abe's sad because he got canceled. I'm not joking. That's the plot point. He got canceled. I'm not joking about that. So the first episode of this season is fucking awful. There's some good moments early on, and then basically, as soon as it gets to the meat and bones, the meat and gritty, the grits, the chicken and whatever, it's awful. Joan's a bitch and is route to be popular because that was totally her character in the first season. She's part of the alternative crowd. She doesn't want to be a popular. Also, JFK just wants to bone her and no one else because he's a simp for her. That's totally funny character trait. It's not. He's not funny at all in the show because his voice sounds lame and he doesn't say anything funny anymore. The new characters are fucking garbage, as I already mentioned. And Abe's a fucking idiot, and we don't follow him anymore. Even though he wasn't really that much of the main character in the first point, because it's kind of like most of the characters got a lot of time to shine. Here, none of them can share the spotlight. We gotta have all these characters, and more gore. So, like I said, Joan's a bitch. She only has like one friend and a technically crush from last season, and she just like says "fuck you," now you like me. I know he kind of deserves some bad stuff because after all, he kind of disregarded her the last season, but it was because he's oblivious, not because he's a fucking asshole. Like this new show tries to portray him as. Like, don't disrespect the clone son of the great Abraham Lincoln. More. I'm not joking. Every time I put a clip up, there's some pointless gore in this shit. There's also a terrible Scudworth plot because, yeah, the best character of the show also has a terrible subplot now, where he falls in love with the woman, who's Cleopatra, but not because she tried to kill him, and that makes him turn hard. I guess it's as stupid as it sounds, and it's such a lame subplot that they don't even bring it back next season. While some of the background characters from the last season are in the background, and that's about it. A lot of them were part of jokes from the last season, the original season, and they're pretty funny. But now, since they have so much characters to juggle, they can't even do fun stuff like that. So yeah, there's background. Remember that character that was in the background every time we would do a little funny joke in the last season? Well, too bad. Fuck that shit now. And that was the awful first episode, which I guess I gotta look with the name of it now, just so I can say, oh, yeah, that was the name of that episode. And I guess, and people actually thought this was a joke when because it got leaked. Like, what the fuck? That can't be true. Anyway, this episode's called Let's Try That Again. Or Try This Again. And it's awful. He also killed off one of my favorite side characters, Toots. He gets one line, like, oh, he died. Oh, that's kind of lame. And now this character is her foster parent, which is the only foster parent we see in the show, because of course it is. Well, season 3 we do, but after this season we don't, because fuck any interesting concepts. It's all a bunch of stupid shit now. Oh, this is the episode 2 sleepover. They have a sleepover. It's as original and uninteresting as possible. Joan likes hanging out for boring new friends that are unlikable, and yeah, that's the whole episode basically. And she reveals that she wants to fuck Abe still, but that's never brought up again after this episode. So what the fuck ever? Who gives a shit? Not even the subplot with Scudworth is good because they just make a potion, I guess, and nothing happens. Wow, great, lame, truth serum. They say I want to fuck you, and that's about it. What great jokes. Honestly, this is amazing joke telling this season. So half this episode is quite literally a worse version of a Smosh episode. And what I mean is that the Smosh episode video was good. I said episode, but it's technically a video series. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. And this is fucking shit. So why could I watch this? Why could I watch a video that's doing the same thing, but actually better? But if you think that's funny, JFK goes on TikTok, and so does Abe, I guess. Not really. He has his friend, Topher, who is the only character that people like, but he's barely used. He's Christopher Columbus, but he's so ashamed of his clone father he changed his name to Topher. That's kind of funny, actually, and he's the only character that actually works with an old cast, but, of course, the character that works the most they barely use. Not to mention free. Well, there's ads on YouTube, so there's that. Oh, they summon Bloody Mary, and for some reason that random joke in this one episode that's not even funny comes back in the next season. Don't know why. Was pretty stupid. Alright, let's go to the next episode. Episode 3, Anxious Times at Clone High. This would be a good episode, but like I said, it has shit characters like Harriet Tubman. Not the historical figure. She was obviously great. The character in the clone daughter in the Clone High is fucking awful. Not the original one, because there actually is an original one in the original series, but the one in season 2 that... What happened to those, by the way? There's actually clone versions of some of these new characters already in the original Clone High that they completely forgot about. They're in the background. I guess it doesn't really matter. Fuck. So this episode's okay. There's not a whole lot to say about it. There's an anxiety monster that makes everyone anxious, I guess, and yeah, that's about it. It's not really funny, but it's an interesting concept, but it kind of has a lame ending. Oh, I gotta mention, remember those the morals of the fake morals they do, like the really BS ones, like littering kills people if you do it, or maybe we should litter in moderation. It's shit like that. It's really dumb stuff, but you could use them as life lessons, but at the same time, they're really just stupid. But here, like, no, we treat these guys seriously like it's a shitty teen show that they were making fun of the original show because they don't fucking understand what the original show was about. So this is actually not an anxiety monster. It's some generic celebrity who's just promoting his brand, which, you know, they had celebrities in the original show, but they're kind of there for parody, and they had them in every episode as kind of a joke. Here, we really have one celebrity, and, yeah. Yeah, I know there was a cameo from Marilyn Manson in the first episode, but that wasn't actually him. That just used the model as a joke. It wasn't actually the voice editing, so whatever. Fuck this shit. Before I go to the next episode, I gotta mention the fact that they claim that there was no female writers in the original show, which is a big deal and a big problem. Even if that wasn't true, I don't know why that'd be a big deal. But one, who's this? Well, let's see. Oh, that looks like a woman. Oh, what's this? Episode 4? And episode 11 of the original series was written by a woman, but that can't be true. As a matter of fact, this same woman, Erica, I don't know how to say the last name because I'm really bad at pronunciation, is on the second season. So how do they not know that? I don't get it. I seriously don't get it. Or maybe they said all one. Like, who cares? I don't give a shit who's writing the show as long as they're fucking qualified to write a show. Episode 4 might be one of the worst of the season, and that says a lot. The episode's titled The Crown, Joan Coming. It's a Cleo world. This is the Cleopatra episode where Joan doesn't want to be crowned queen because I guess she's popular now, but she doesn't want to be now? I don't know. It's stupid as it sounds. For some reason, this crown makes Cleopatra all-powerful, and she makes it so that she's, like, popular again because she's not popular, I guess. And, yeah, that's a really great episode concept. Really? It's not. It's awful. It's as bad as stupid and dumb as that you think it is. And everyone goes under the mind control and, oh, we love it, and we love iced lattes. And Jonas admits the fact that she also likes pumpkin lattes. I'm not joking. It's not even like it's actually supposed to be taken seriously. It's a funny thing, too. Like, I'm not... That they think that it's okay to say you like this, and it's not like the litter thing, like I mentioned earlier. It's like, literally, this is actually the moral. It's an actual legitimate moral. They're treating it like it's serious. It's fucking garbage. Fuck this show. They don't even get the reference right. Like, she should be on a stake there if they want to do a historical joke, but they don't, because this show is fucking god-awful! When I mean this show, I mean the reboot, 2023. not the original show, obviously. So the next episode is also awful, but what do you expect? It's called Some Talking, but Mostly Songs. And what I mean by mostly songs is that there's like 2 songs, and they're both awful. It's like trying to do the rock opera of the last season, but failing miserably. About Twister. I don't know why it's about Twister. It's really, really dumb. It's like they didn't understand the abstract humor of the original show. Like, I know that something in the original show because it seemed like it's kind of juvenile, but it was taken so it was so ridiculous in the show that it was kind of obvious that they're just making fun of tropes from other things. Here, it generally seems like they think this is what's funny, or what they're trying to appeal to little kids, but then they go, oh, it's an adult show, let's add gore. Fuck this show. Also, in the worst subplots of all time, these characters are failing in musical because they don't got white guy confidence, and they sing a song about it because, yeah, as we all know, Cleopatra is not confident. You're like, get the fuck out of here. And for some reason, Abe is confident because he's white and male, even though he wasn't like that in the original show. Also, this stereotype makes no sense because I can tell you, I have very little confidence, and I'm white and male. Not that it fucking matters, but this show loves to stereotype against people now, which is kind of really annoying. I kind of hate it. Just for this lame-ass song that's not even good at actually doing anything interesting about it, and like it's like, oh, this is what's wrong with the system, and not anything like that. Like, fuck you. I'm not fucking Adam Levine, where the fuck his name is. Fuck you. I hate Frida Kahlo in this show too, and fuck you for ruining characters because. Well, I'm not sure if you remember last season, but I don't think Abe Lincoln was that confident. He wasn't even confident enough to run for school president at first because he thought he was going to get killed. Remember that joke? Remember anything that was actually in the original show? Fuck that. Yeah, these characters aren't confident because they're not white and male. Remember how Cleopatra's the most confident character in the last season? Are you fucking kidding me? They don't fucking get this joke makes no fucking sense. Next episode, Saved by the Knoll. So they go to this place called the Grassy Knoll, and it burnt down last episode for some reason. And Joan is nostalgic for it, and nostalgia is bad. That's the whole episode. Being nostalgic is toxic. If people weren't fucking nostalgic for your fucking show, it never got revived, you fucking idiots. It's not a good joke, 'cause they don't do anything with it. They'll say, like, oh, I think they'll say, like, oh, Star Wars sucks, and it's the reason her legs go crazy, because that's a disease. It's as funny as it sounds. By meaning it's not funny at all. It wasn't even funny when South Park did it, and South Park's way better than this show. They rebuilt it, by the way, I guess, by a big corporation. Wow. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Also, there's like some subplots that I don't really even mention. There's more dramatic tension, I guess, romantic ones that aren't interesting, so they actually treat it like it's serious and not funny or have any good jokes with it, so that's why I'm not mentioning it. I'm gonna go to the next episode because I hate this. Also, Joan decides to ditch Abe because that triggers her nostalgia. I'm not joking, and he doesn't even do anything to bad her. He actually tries to help her out. But this show hates Abe Lincoln now for some reason. You know, it doesn't do anything. Other than I guess having confidence, because that's a really bad thing. Fuck this show. And no, Abe was not my favorite character the last season. It was actually, I think it might have been Joan actually, but her character was also butchered to hell. Actually, liked all the characters pretty much equally, but you know what? Fuck this shit. They don't give a shit about these characters. They hate Abe because he was oblivious, and they forgot that's the fucking joke. The writers, so they're gonna fucking ditch him, and they like JFK because I guess he recognized Joan, really, even though he just wanted sex. It doesn't make him a good character, but he realizes, oh, he's kind of an asshole, but she still makes out with him. It's not a good relationship that they act like it is, but oh god, I hate this show. It's not like but it's trying to take it seriously. It's not even comedic. And there's a dumb road trip. So in this episode, Spring broke, and like they get lost in the desert and nothing interesting happens. And yeah, I guess JFK, he becomes smart because he's dumb, and that's the joke. I'm not really going into detail of these episodes. One, because they're terrible. There's basically nothing to say about them. Like, oh, this great character Confucius who's done nothing, and Harriet who's just a bitch. They date each other because I guess they are on social media. That's how great they are at building up. And like I said, they don't treat these relationships like they're like parodies or stupid. Like, they actually treat them like they're trying to be serious. But it's not, because you don't give a shit about these new characters. You don't care about the old characters anymore because they're so different from the last ones. So JFK is no longer smart because, yeah. And by the way, his smart is like, E equals MC squared. Like, the kind of lazy, bad writers who don't know how to write some characters that are smart. And it's not funny. And she's like, oh no, he's gonna be dumb and I can't date him anymore. Even though they had no problems beforehand, I guess. I don't really know. Who the fuck gives a shit about this stuff? Oh, I guess they broke up and had a funeral about them breaking up, and for some reason he's humping the casket. It's not really funny. They want it to be funny, but it's not. This episode's about relationships. Like, every character has to have a relationship, and they have like, oh, look at my great ship I Like, oh yeah, Cleopatra likes Frida Kahlo now for some reason, and that some reason goes on in the second season. It's not interesting. They don't do anything with it, and the rest of the episode is just, well, I'm sorry to break up, but can't I have the turtle? No, I want the turtle. I am not joking when I find it incredibly hard to find one joke in this fucking new show. Like, nothing in this show makes me laugh. Like, the original show is trying to make me laugh. This show doesn't do anything. It's like, look at this relationship drama. The original show wasn't about relationship drama. It was about making jokes about shows that have relationship drama in it. That's how ridiculous the relationships in the original show were. Do you not... I'm mad. If you couldn't tell by that really probably annoying scream to you guys. Also, for some reason, Christopher Columbus here, I'm gonna black name him, I guess, is how we call it, decides that, he wants to be with Joan. This is mentioned in like 2 episodes, and he's barely in the show, as I mentioned before, because, yeah, he has blackmail, because Abe wanted to have sex with a lady, because he was a virgin, I guess, but not really, he didn't do it, so that doesn't make any sense. It's about as stupid as it sounds. The next episode is actually very different from the last, like, 8 episodes. It's, called For Your Consideration, and it's like, I guess, a joke Oscar bait thing. But any of the canon that the show had basically goes out the window. I know the characters are consistent, but now the canon goes out the window. Because for some reason, Mr. B has a backstory that has nothing to do with how he was originally created. If you remember, he's supposed to be a robot that was created by Scudworth, but no. Now he was just born, I guess? I don't know. He had like a family, and he likes it. The only reason people like this episode is because it has different animation style. Like in the past, it's like an old style, but it's not really it doesn't really look good. It's like a crappy, like, try to it. It's a little interesting, so it's technically the best episode of the series, but the continuity, I don't understand it. It doesn't tell any jokes. He calls people Wesley. It seems like it was an error, but no, because he had his brother that wasn't his actual brother, because he's a robot, named Wesley, and he died, I guess, and now he wants, it's not really funny. It's like about as stupid as a concept you can get. Not stupid in a funny way. Like, wow, he got baptized, but he can't get baptized because he's a robot. And yeah. While there is unique animation styles, they don't do anything with them, which is kind of why I'm not the big fan of it. Like, it looks cool, but the storyline goes nowhere. He had a brother named Wesley for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. They don't say anything funny. Like, wow, he's going to have a baby, but it doesn't make any sense because he's a robot, so he can't impregnate anybody. What's the joke? The reason why the continuity is wrong is because the whole intro that plays in every episode, it just contradicts it. That's why I don't understand it. Like, we could see both Scudworth and Mr. B digging up the clones, which is how they get the DNA in the 1980s in the first place. But here it's like, no, Scudworth already has them, and he just, like, wants a robot to come along with him for some reason. I don't get it. The whole point of this episode is to explain why he calls people Wesley, even though it wasn't really it's like one of those things, like, you really need to explain a joke. You have to explain a joke, it doesn't make any sense. I would play that Joker clip, but I'm not going to. The next episode and final episode, it has less episodes than the last season, is Clone Alone, where for some reason he looks at his butt, and I don't get it. It's about as stupid as it sounds. They refer to him really obsessed with JFK's ass in the show. They do it for a lame contest. It's not funny or interesting. And, like, I guess Joan thinks everyone betrays her, and then she betrays everybody for some reason. It's about as badly written as you could possibly imagine. So like I said, this is not really funny, and it's kind of out of character. Like, yeah, she hates everybody now. I don't really get it. This had no build-up, nor is it interesting. And yeah, then the other character's like, I'm gonna kill all the bored as shadowy figures for some reason. They were barely characters in this show. They got replaced. They were replaced with 2 characters that already existed, but now they're both dead. And yeah, I guess they didn't like using that concept. So now there's no tension at all, because we have one woman who we're supposed to be scared of, but she's not the government. Or is she? But she killed their government members. It makes no sense. This show's fucking awful. Uh-oh, for some reason, my mouse cursor is in the way. The other clones forgot their memories for some reason. They remember everything, by the way, just to let you guys know, pretty much immediately. It's such little thought was put into this. It's not even like a joke. Like, they immediately remember, uh-oh, they all hate her now, which will bring into season 3. What a great plot ending. Just kidding, it's fucking awful. Fuck this show. Season 2 is awful. And pretty much everyone else knows that, so screw it. Now's the time where I rank all the episodes. Spoiler alert, they're all terrible. Number 9, Episode 6, Saved by the Knoll. Number 8, Episode 5, Some Talking, Mostly Songs. Number 10, Number 4, The Crown, Joan Coming, It's a Cleo, Cleo, Cleo World. Number 7, Episode 10, Clone Alone. Number 6, Episode 7, Spring Broken. Number 5, Episode 1, Let's Try This Again. Number 4, Episode 8, Sexy Ed. Number 3, Episode 2, Sleepover. Number 2, Episode 9, For Your Consideration. Number 1, Episode 3, Anxious Times at Clone High, which is the only episode I think is just okay. Well, I mean, okay, it's like a 6, maybe. Overall, I think I was a little harsh on Season 3, because that season was way better than Season 2. And Season 3 was like a 5 or a 6, which I think is what I rated, like a 6. And Season 1 was a 10. Season 2 is literally a 1 out of 10, in case you're wondering. It's fucking awful, and I'm never going to watch it again. It's terrible, and I don't recommend watching it. If you're going to watch Clone High, maybe if you care about Season 3, maybe, or something like that, maybe you'll watch this, like, for one time. It's not too long. I actually just recommend watching the first episode, maybe the last episode, just to get, or the sleepover episode, and that's about it. Everything else, just if you want to constantly for Season 3, not because Season 3 is bad, but it's not this bad, so, I mean, it doesn't really matter, no. At the end of the day, Season 2 is awful, and I don't think we're going to see more Clone High because of how terrible it was, and Season 3 didn't really improve much. It improved, but proving on a piece of dog shit doesn't mean a whole lot if you're still nowhere near the original season. And that's all I gotta say about Clone High Season 2, which was a failure. In every regard, it sucked.